All right, we are going to be working on this gold again that I accidentally tried to encort with some steel. So I've got to try and salvage this here. And so this has been sitting in some hydrochloric for a long time. Reaction is done, and it is still magnetic, which means we still have steel in there. So I am done with the hydrochloric, and we're going to try a different route. So let me pour this out. Let me clean it up a little bit, so we're kind of dealing with the clean beaker, and then we will be on to the goods, hopefully anyway. All right, so we're going to go ahead and try this with sulfuric acid. So there's a couple of things that I'm worried about here. It's going to dissolve copper, and it's going to dissolve the iron. So at the end of this, I'm most likely going to have iron sulfate crystals and copper sulfate crystals. So I'm really not looking forward to that, but if I keep it hydrated enough, maybe we can keep those crystals at bay, along with rather quickly removing that steel. When I was making those ferrous sulfate crystals, the sulfuric acid did wonders on that iron and steel. So I'm really hoping that this works. Yeah, I guess there's nothing to it but to do it. So I want to go 4-to-1. So I've got 50 mLs of sulfuric, and I need to put 200 mLs of distilled water in here. And let's see. 1 second. Alright, we're back. And I want to add 50 mils of sulfuric acid. See something cool? We'll take a look back at that later. You can see it starting to get dissolved. Yeah, you don't want to mess with that stuff. Alright, so here's an initial reaction, which is nothing crazy. Temperature is at 123 degrees. Let's get a Celsius on there. 51. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and put this on the heat plate on low. I'm not going to boil it quite yet. I don't think there's a need for that. I might need to put a little bit more in there too. We'll find out. We'll go slow though. So I'm just going to crack this so that there's a very small amount. So I'm about halfway in between off and then where I would usually keep it on to boil my solutions. So we'll get a temperature after it's heated up and kind of everything's settled down here. All right. So the sulfuric hasn't really touched anything yet, not even copper. So let's see, let's add some more. Let me grab my bottle here. I think we're gonna do another 50 and see where that gets us. This is my new favorite way of pouring it in there. Get a little shield. Plus, if I hold that up, you can almost see the S. Well, let's give that a shot. See if that does anything better. If this doesn't work, well, we're going to go straight into nitric. That's got to do something for us. So I've been working on this little chunk for a while now, and it's been kicking my butt with the different kinds of solutions that I've been attempting to try and get the steel out of there. Hydrochloric didn't work. Very little amounts. Sulfuric acid didn't work. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to go with some nitric acid that I've used. So we're going to try that. I know that's going to work, but I'm also going to put a little touch of sulfuric acid in there just to eat some of that rust up when it does come up and out. Hopefully that the carrot scrap on the actual surrounding that steel is is light enough, meaning like below 8 carat, where we could actually touch it with the nitric. Because if it's higher, because I don't know that alloy mixture, right? They could have came out a little different because you know, it's an unknown carat. So let's see if this works. If not, going into AR is probably going to be the last thing I'm doing. So we'll see if this works. Which I don't even see bubbles coming off. I got to add some heat to it. But we have another project on right now, so we will come back to that in a little while. Hopefully. I got to get this gold first, and then we'll get this gold. But we got gold. Right, so here we are after a couple nitric boils. I think I freed up the gold from that iron. This is pretty brittle. It breaks up pretty easy, and I wasn't getting any more reaction. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in some aqua regia. Get it dissolved for the first go around and see how much gold we left behind from that first initial 10 carat drop. Alright, we have a lot going on in the background there. Let's see. Let's put a little sulfuric acid in here. Well, let's start with sulfamic and see if we get a reaction. If we have a reaction, we'll know we'll drop the lead sulfate. I don't see any reaction. Alright. Time for the sulfuric. Alright, now let's let that cool. And then we'll start the filtration process. Alright, so we've got this way cooled down, and you can see all of the chlorides and sulfates fell out of there. So we've got probably some silver chloride along with some lead sulfate. So let's go ahead and filter that out. Perfect. And then of course all the goods in the bottom. Only got one glove on. Alright, let's grab the other glove. And this is going to take a couple of filters. There's no question about that. That finished quick. Still pretty cloudy. Hey, there we go. It's starting to clear up now. I think one more and we'll be good. I'd actually have to say that looks pretty crystal clear. All right, we are good to go. I've got this heated up. This solution anyway. 172, 180, maybe a little on the warm side. Should get some pretty cool color changes here. Right, there's our gold drops all settled out. Looks like a nice batch there. So I'm gonna go ahead and drain this off and bring you back in when we've got all this liquid off of here. I also diluted this too, so we can see a little better. So we're not sacrificing anything to the refining gods. There we have it. I just did one rinse on it. What I'm gonna do is we're just gonna go ahead and do a distilled water boil on there, and then I'll evaporate it up. We'll get a weight on this gold here, just for a quick measurement, right? It's obviously going to be dirty gold because we're not going to run the cleanup process on it. But anyways, we'll get it cleaned up at least with a distilled boil, weigh it up, and then put it with the rest of the stuff. All right, so I actually ended up having to do a hydrochloric boil on it. I just did one. It looked nasty just with the distilled water. So we did a hydrochloric boil on here too. Go ahead and zero the scale out. And what do we have for gold? Not a whole bunch. 1.64 grams, but I can tell you what, it was definitely worth going back and getting that out of there. And it wasn't too bad. A couple experiments to get it, but that weren't successful. But we didn't end up with a whole bunch of rust, which was good. So I was kind of expecting that. So let's see, let's add that to the rest of this fun stuff here. Yeah, I ordered these boats and they were much bigger than I anticipated. But it all works the same. What are we up to now? So we got an empty one. All right, got that bad boy zeroed out. 18.46 grams. We are getting up there. What is going on, guys? Wow. We got it. We got it. So the AR process I kind of like skipped through because I wasn't, I guess, necessarily so much worried about that. It was more so just how are we going to get that steel out of there. Yeah, a couple failed attempts. I thought the sulfuric would work for sure, but I imagine there was a big crust of, you know, a little higher carat gold because, you know, you can't alloy it when it's mixed with a you know, like a solid piece of metal, right? So I imagine there was some goofy stuff happening where, you know, those acids just wouldn't get in there to, you know, to eat it. So we got it. Nonetheless, we got it. And we added it to the collection. So I'm thinking, since we're halfway past, well, I can't say halfway past, but we are more than the halfway mark on an ounce. We might as well just wait till we have an ounce in here and then go for it. but I'm really happy with it so far. So, oh, one last thing. I've got some goodies here if you haven't seen the short. So these are bismuth crystals. Let's see if I can go a little closer up. Maybe. They look really cool, at least to me. Here, check this one out. The colors are just awesome. And I'll show you this one too. This one kind of looks like the pyramid. Too shiny. You can see that glisten right off of there. Anyways, I bought 5 pounds of it. I think I need a little more, maybe 10, maybe even 15 pounds of it to get a really good batch of it. But I tried melting some of it the other day just to kind of like consolidate all of the little stuff. And at the last minute, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try and make some crystals. And I got a couple of them to turn out pretty good, I thought. But if you want to see videos on that, maybe change it up a little bit. Still kind of working with metals, and I know it's not technically a precious metal, but it's rarer than silver. If that if that does anything for you. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget, we've got that giveaway. Go back, watch that Friday subscriber videos. I'll put I think it's actually over here. We'll put a card here, and you can click on that, and that'll let you know how to get entered into the drawing. So, all right. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you in the next one.